ahead on 12 News Weekend, strike up the band. But this band could use your help.
My number one goal is to get quality instruments.
Then the game that could lead to a slew of savvy investors. But first, a chilling reality.
I'm seeing that there's a high influx of people coming from Brooklyn Park.
A revealing look at homelessness in the Northwest Metro. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Delane Cleveland.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. It's a growing problem in the Northwest Metro. We're talking about homelessness.
Yeah, some of the reasons include a tight rental market and rising home prices. In fact, the number of homeless families seeking shelter in Hennepin County reached a 12-year high this year. This weekend, reporter Sonia Goins introduces us to a Brooklyn Park man who has turned to desperate measures to keep warm.
This is the kitchen. That's going to get fixed today. We had people coming in fixing parts and stuff of it.
This house could use some TLC.
This house is so old that the room that's right here in my old room, the fuse boxes is together.
But Lawrence Lee calls his foreclosed property home.
I've been in this house for 5 months now.
He fell down on his luck after getting in a car accident and could no longer work to pay his rent.
I was couch hopping, then it was park hopping. When I found out there was no shelters in Brooklyn Park, I found out I had to go downtown Minneapolis, and then I found out I had to pay to stay in the shelter.
Lawrence says he didn't have the money to stay in the shelter. That's when he decided to illegally squat in the foreclosed home.
We fixed up half of this stuff here. We did this, but it's still a time that they can come in here and say, you gotta go.
About 6 people live in the home.
We pay utilities here. We clean it up like it's ours. It's like our home for right now because we can't afford what's out there in the community.
But Lawrence is constantly watching and wondering if somebody will come and kick him out.
That's why I'm bringing so much stuff here.
Now here's how the process works. If a home goes into foreclosure, the homeowner has about 6 months to negotiate with the bank. If they decide to leave the house, that's when someone else can come and occupy the home.
I'm seeing that there's a high influx of people coming from Brooklyn Park, Corcoran, Minnesota.
Melita Kimmons works for a group called Neighborhoods Organizing for Change. She helps people like Lawrence.
When there is crowds of people that are waiting in line just to share a room at the shelter and there's absolutely no place for their families to go, they resort to this.
Lawrence says it's worth the risk of getting arrested to be able to keep warm and off the streets. But he eventually wants a place he can permanently call home.
I want to feel somewhere that I can call mine and I can have a key to and won't have to worry about it.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
According to Amnesty International, there are more than 5 times as many vacant homes in the United States as there are homeless people. It's why some housing advocates want to make squatting in foreclosed homes legal.
Brooklyn Park will soon be home to a major medical technology company and more than 100 new jobs. State and local officials broke ground Friday morning on a new building for Olympus Surgical Technologies of America. The company is moving its Maple Grove operations to a new $37 million, 180,000 square foot research and development facility in Brooklyn Park along Highway 610. The company will bring 365 jobs to the city, including 100 newly created positions.
And we get 610, just got named to be completed. We get the light rail, and pretty soon you start to see more companies. This is not the end. This is just the beginning, we think.
Construction officials expect the work to be completed by September 1st.
Maple Grove will soon get a slice of an expanding pizza concept while also dipping into a popular frozen yogurt brand. This weekend, Menchie's Frozen Yogurt opens in Maple Grove. The store is located near Cub Foods off of Elm Creek Boulevard. Meantime, coming to Maple Grove next year, Punch Pizza. The company announced its 9th Twin Cities location will open in the shops at Arbor Lakes. Punch Pizza will replace a shuttered Qdoba Mexican restaurant.
In our week in review, Brooklyn Park officials have selected a new police chief. Craig Envelson has been chosen to replace former chief Mike Davis. Envelson is currently the acting chief. The city council is expected to vote on his hire on Monday. Envelson has been with the Brooklyn Park Police Department for 22 years. Health officials say it could take days and possibly weeks to pinpoint the exact cause of a norovirus outbreak in Brooklyn Park. It sickened at least 75 people attending the Totino Grace football team banquet held at the Edinburgh USA Golf Course dining hall. Norovirus is a foodborne illness marked by vomiting and diarrhea. State health officials say it's a good reminder to wash hands after going to the bathroom and before handling food. And finally, in our weekend review, another indication of a very strong rental market. Last summer in Osseo, city leaders and developers broke ground on the 5 Central apartments. This week, we learned that project is expanding. The developer is proposing about 24 more units than originally planned as part of Phase 2. The $18 million project is currently taking shape just north of Osseo City Hall.
Well, it's been an incredible ride on the stock market this year. 2 major indices reached all-time highs in recent months, including the Dow closing above 16,000 for the first time in its 117-year history. That has some future investors in Maple Grove looking on, thanks to a Brooklyn Park nonprofit. Here's Alexandra Renslow.
Where you think that stock is going to go. What kind of stocks do you want to buy?
Armed with laptops,
number of shares.
These financially savvy Maple Grove 6th graders have $100,000 and some big decisions to make.
We shouldn't sell it if it's lower than it was, unless we're really losing money.
They're investing time playing the stock market game. It's a national financial education program for grades 4 through 12 with a Minnesota chapter run by Brooklyn Park-based nonprofit Best Prep.
The stock market game is an online simulation where students receive a virtual $100,000 to invest in stocks and mutual funds.
You can go into trade.
For students, the risk is relatively low,
I've bought Target and Medtronic.
considering it's virtual money. But the rewards are real, learning relevant skills for the real world.
They're really learning critical thinking skills. They're looking at trends from the past day, week, year to kind of make some decisions about what they're doing. And they're having to think about managing money in a way that they've probably never thought of before as 6th graders.
12-year-old Lauren Boondorf is calculating her next stock trade.
I think I'm going to sell Target around Christmas because it'd be higher and I bought it for a lower price, so then I'd make some money.
It's all about the bottom line in this program, which also includes a statewide competition that honors the top 3 highest earning investors in each student age group.
I would say the only consistent winning strategy really is, doing their research, looking at the trends.
So far, Lauren Boondorf's cash balance is in the black. She's making a little virtual money right now with skills that someday could net a real profit.
I think I'm on the right track so far.
The stock market game is typically played in schools for about 7 to 10 weeks. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, a belief in music strikes up the band in Brooklyn Center.
And then later in sports, Wayzata's gymnastics team expects to have a strong season.
But first, something to look forward to, a warm-up in the forecast. You may be able to feel your toes again by Wednesday. Over the last decade, the Brooklyn Center Schools band program has grown significantly.
But as Renee Bonneau reports, the district's supply of instruments can't keep up with demand.
Well, look at these. These are beauts.
Brooklyn Center band teacher Chris Porter has no problem tooting her own horn.
They work. All right, let's play. Here we go.
When she came here 12 years ago, she had 17 students.
They handed me my keys and they said, go build a band program.
So she did,
More Rotary,
recruiting at the elementary school and getting community support.
and more Rotary. Yep, I don't know. Is your arms gonna be big enough?
People began to believe in the program,
Hurry up, guys. Let's go. Vámonos.
and grants came in. Over time, so did the kids. Now she has 220.
Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. And everyone wants to come join that positive movement. And then I'm like, okay, now we have kids. Now we have no instruments.
Brooklyn Center provides instruments for almost all its band students. Since 6th graders joined the program last year, Porter's now short about 50 instruments.
If they don't have the instrument, they're pretty much not in band, or they're not qualified for band because they don't have enough money to purchase it.
The problem isn't just that the band program is growing, but also the instruments they do have are growing old. There's at least one that was purchased back in the 60s.
For the trumpets, the valves, they can get stuck and they won't, it's just hard to push the buttons. Woodwind instruments, if it's not like that the buttons are broken, it's screws are missing or just pieces of it come apart.
This one's really bad.
Porter is asking for the public to donate instruments, saying they'll be put to use immediately.
I had a donation dropped off the other day. 20 minutes later, after I disinfected it, it was in the hands of a kid.
Porter says she's excited her program is growing. She just needs the tools to keep it going.
My number one goal is to get quality instruments that work in their hands so they have a shot to be successful.
In Brooklyn Center, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
The Brooklyn Center Band is also looking for donations of white dress shirts and black dress pants for students to wear to concerts. Still ahead, a Wayzata student with remarkable determination.
Now see how she's tapping into her skills to help others. But first, Champlain Park's girls basketball team will shoot for the top this season. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox. Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now at Sports. And Jay, this time of year we talk a lot about hockey, basketball, but it sounds like we have a pretty good gymnastics teams in the area, right?
Yeah, and just getting started with the season, and so far so good for this team too. The gymnastics season is now in full swing in the area, and the Wayzata girls have high hopes for the season, and they are off to a very nice start. The Trojans beat Eden Prairie in a Lake Conference meet on Thursday. Eden Prairie should be the Trojans' top rival come section time. Wayzata has many of last season's top performers back, and they got off to a solid start, scoring 142.85 points at the Northfield Winter Wonderland meet.
Because we got that high score, it almost sets like a limit of we can always go up from there. There's always potential from there, and it was just a great meet overall. Fun way to start off the season.
Wayzata won the Section 6AA championship last season and placed 5th at the state meet. Getting back to state is definitely a goal for a team that should be very good.
I mean, we have a good start to the season. We have a lot of new skills. Our team has been working really hard, and we did a lot of off-season work over the summer. So I think we're pretty prepared going into the start of the season.
If there's a team that's going to do it, this is it. But I don't want to put the pressure on them. I just kind of want to take it day by day. You know, we have to get through Eden Prairie. They're our biggest competition in our section right now. So we get through them, we should be okay.
The Trojans competed at the Prior Lake Invitational Saturday, and they're at Lakeville North this coming Thursday. The Benilde St. Margaret's boys hockey team lost some great talent to graduation. That includes Mr. Hockey winner Grant Bessie, who is now playing for the University of Wisconsin. The Red Knights do still have plenty of talent, though. They're off to a 4-2 start and are ranked number 4 in Class AA. It's a different group without the prolific first line that graduated, but it's still a very good squad.
We've got a different group of guys this year. Everyone knows we lost a lot of our top guns from last year, and so we're a different team, but I still think we have really high expectations, and yeah, so far it's been a fun ride.
I think we have some pretty dang good balance and pretty good depth, and that's always something that we have going for us, but I think that's especially true, this year. We have a lot of defensemen returning. Last year we were playing a couple ninth graders back there, so having 5 returning defensemen blue line's a big strength.
The Red Knights have faced some good opponents already, including Burnsville, Hill Murray, and Holy Family in their last few games, and they have a stretch of tough ones coming up.
And we got Wayzata coming up, like I said. We got Holy Family, both section opponents, so those are some pretty key games for us, especially in the section seeding, and just to see where our team's doing and see how we match up against the best competition in the state.
The Red Knights host Maple Grove on Tuesday. Champlain Park's girls basketball team is off to a decent start with a new coach this winter. Former Minnetonka football and basketball standout and ex-Gophers offensive lineman Jake Cuppy takes over the Rebels this season. Cuppy's been a boys assistant at Hopkins and has coached AAU girls teams, and he's excited for the chance to coach the Rebels.
It's been a journey. It's my first head coaching job, so we're learning from each other. I'm implementing my stuff, and we're just kind of getting used to it.
You know, it's been very intense. It's a change from last year. It's a good change of pace. All the girls are really excited, really sore, but we're getting through it. We're pushing each other through it, and we're really coming together as a team.
Champlain Park split its first 4 games against a tough schedule, losing to very good Hopkins and Centennial teams. South Dakota State signee Lexi Alexander, a talented guard, leads the Rebels returners. Sophomore Hannah Krimble is a good post player for the Rebels, who expect to compete well in what's a talent-filled Northwest Suburban Conference.
For right now, we're looking at going to state pretty much, beating all of our section teams, and we're just working hard throughout the season.
We want to get further than we ever have before. We want to win state, and I feel like this is a year we can do something.
After facing Spring Lake Park on Saturday night, the Rebels host Coon Rapids on Tuesday. So they played a lot of good teams early. The record isn't great so far, but they are
A lot of competition,
yeah,
though.
Definitely, and they've got some talent for sure.
All right, we'll be watching. Thanks, Jay.
You bet.
Still ahead, a Wayzata student's curiosity leads to an inspiring project.
Yeah, see how Marissa Ablack not only tapped into her own potential, but also the potential of others. We'll be right back.
And finally, if this last story is any indication, our future is very bright.
A Wayzata student is making waves, not only in the classroom, but also in a foreign land.
Okay, what is?
The school year at Wayzata High School is barely halfway through,
Celebrate the victory of a goal.
yet work on the yearbook is well underway.
Yeah, okay, that'll be good.
Senior Marissa Ablack calls the key shots as the editor-in-chief.
So it's been really good to kind of perfect my skills and kind of learn about what I want to do with my life after high school.
She has an eye for design and an interest in journalism. Yearbook helps her combine the two passions.
Okay, well, what are these?
The teacher overseeing the yearbook calls her an asset.
She brings a lot of strong characteristics and has been an inspiration to the team. It's showing that she's got a very diverse background of skills that she's able to put together into a business situation.
However, Marissa's work goes far beyond yearbook design. As part of her National Honor Society project, Marissa helped develop the One Day Water Project. It's a nonprofit that provides schools around the world with water filtration systems.
It's kind of a movement almost of trying to spread clean water to schools in Trinidad.
Marissa has family in Trinidad, and last month she spent time visiting schools there, one of which received a free $2,000 water purification unit courtesy of her nonprofit.
It was a pretty cool feeling to go there and see the taps installed with this fresh water source and see kids filling up water bottles out of taps, which wouldn't have been possible, without us helping them.
Her goal is to raise money so that even more schools can benefit.
It's not just one school we're trying to affect. It's kind of a whole movement of clean water that we want to implement.
In the meantime,
Oh, okay.
she has her senior year
And like what family and friends think and stuff.
and a yearbook to worry about.
She's a phenomenal student to have.
Well, Marissa says the One Day Water Project has raised enough money to buy water filtration units for 2 other schools. I think back to when I was in high school and I had a job, I played video games. I didn't think about starting up my own nonprofit.
Good for her, and that stuff looks great on her resume and her college application. So I bet colleges will be just chomping at the bit to get her.
She's looking to go to NYU or maybe somewhere
There you go.
out west, and she's looking to major in journalism
There you
perhaps.
go.
So she could be taking one of our jobs. one day.
Probably will be. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 4.